Hello, everybody. It is 12 noon. I told you I wanted to do a Periscope with you today, so I thought I'd do it today as I get ready for my lunch break. Hello, Danetta. Hey, co-pastor Janelle. Sophia, glad to see you on. Happy Friday, everybody. Oh, thank you. Giving me hearts already. I just love it. You guys, this is a great app, Periscope. I think next week I'm going to put together, hey Lowell, I'm going to put together a little cheat sheet on how ministries can use Periscope. Y'all see me getting myself together. I want to make sure I'm always presentable. Amen. Hey, Pastor Felicia, I see you're on. There's my Pastor Hart Ramsey. Glad to see you're on. I know you're going to give me some heart, sir. Just working with him earlier today. I have the best friends and even clients, but I was working with Pastor Ramsey and my own Bishop Morton, and some other pastors, getting them on a new network that is happening in Canada. It's going to be like the Word Network. So if you're a pastor and you've got a television broadcast and you're interested in expanding your wings, really being international, as we say that we are, reach out to me and let me know. I can share kind of how it works. And I've got some really great opportunities for you if that is something you're interested in, going global. I'm even working it out so that I can get the Success Suite with Robin Ware on that new network as well. So thank you so much. You all may know, goodness, last September, hey, Monica, I preached at my church on a Sunday morning. It was Labor Day weekend, almost, let me see. Hold on. Somebody's telling me that they can't. Let's see here. Should be able to comment and leave me. Here we go. Let's see here. I don't want to hide the chat. Let me take that back off. Hold on, y'all. I'm sorry. Somebody sent me a note saying they weren't able to leave me a comment. So there we go. Show chat. Do you all see the chat? Let me know if you see it. I think you should. Good. And swipe, swipe and let people know that you're watching. Let's see. Okay, good. Let me put that back down there so I can see what's going on too. So anyway, I preached, goodness, it's been a year at my church, and I was sharing that one of my personal dreams is to do a live television show. And so I know it's going to come to pass. So, whether or not you all give me some hearts in support of that or not, it's going to happen because I know what God has assigned to my life. But I do appreciate you all celebrating in faith with me for that to happen. But even with having this network reach out to me about getting some of my clients on it, I just think that is just another sign that, I'm closer to one of my goals happening. So I'm blessed to help others. And so I want to encourage you to do the same thing. You help others bring their dreams to pass. God's going to honor that. He is going to honor your sacrifice, your commitment, your seed, all of that. I promise you. So I just want to share that little praise report. So let's get started. I don't want to take up too much of your time. I realize it is Friday. I did my walk this morning. If you all follow me on Instagram, you saw that I posted a picture, did my 5K, and just, 5K is 3.2 miles. Some of you are like, oh my goodness, you do 5 miles every day. I do a 5K every day, and there's a big difference. So bless God for that. But I'm excited. I do enjoy doing that. Just give me time to, of course, exercise, but reflect and pray and just, hear from God and the stillness from the water where I walk. So I do enjoy doing that. I do it 3 or 4 times a week. So give me some love, give me some hearts. Let me know if you, taking care of your body. Or you want to take care of your body. I'll stand in agreement with you that, as I said on Monday, it's time to get started. You have to make yourself your priority. So the topic at hand today is kind of along those same lines. I want to talk about time management and my actual time management flow. I'm sure that you've read, tons of suggestions and tips on how to manage your time and time management. But you know what? You have to figure out what's the best time management system for yourself. And so, there's no one way fits all. And so don't beat yourself up, hit yourself over the head worrying about that you don't do it the way, Franklin Covey or, any of the big guys say that you should manage time. The important thing is that you manage time and that you don't allow time to manage you. And so some of the things I do, I'm going to share with you right now. So if you want to hear them, give me some hearts. And for those of you that aren't sure about how to do the hearts, all you have to do is click on the right-hand corner of your screen and you tap it. And every time you tap it, a heart will appear. So just tap that, those of you that really love me, look, I'm putting you on the spot, but if you really love me, give me a lot of hearts. But anyway, thank you for following me. And of course, you can swipe on the bottom of your screen and send a tweet out to invite others to join you on this call or on this scope. I told you yesterday I want to make sure that I say everything the right way. I see you, Pastor Ramsey. Thank you for giving me 38 hearts. Danetta gave me 19. Lady V's on. Good to have you on. Thank you for the 11 hearts. And Sophia Corker, I appreciate you, woman of God. She's giving me 46 hearts. She's an intercessor. I tell you, that woman, she's a prayer warrior. So I'm just glad to have you on. If you're doing nothing but praying for me, I'm not going to worry about hearts with you. Amen. Oh, Pastor Jamal Phillips is on. He gave me 22 hearts. Thank you so much. Well, let's get started. One of the things that I think is consistent that you hear when you attend time management trainings is that you should have some sort of to-do list. Now, how you put that together, where you put it together, if you put it on a notepad or put it in your iPad, and if you put notifications and all that stuff, I'm not going to get into all of that. I'm just going to tell you that you do need a to-do list. That is a part of your strategy when it comes to winning, when it comes to time management. You got to have a plan that will lead to your strategy, right? My strategy is that I want to manage my own time. And so I plan. So my to-do list is part of that plan. Sometimes I put it together at night. And sometimes I put it together when I get here in my office. Again, don't beat yourself up about when you do it and, all of that. If revelation comes to you at 2:00 in the afternoon that you need to stop and do a to-do list, and that's when you do it. But I want you to get in a habit of doing it daily. All right. So establish a pattern for your to-do list when you're going to do it. One of the other ways that I manage my time is that I pretty much have a set time that I go to sleep at night, that I go to bed at night, and when I get up in the morning. So I'm one of those, I don't need an alarm clock. I am able, my body shuts down pretty much about 9 or 10 o'clock. My friends all laugh and tease me because they know if they call me after 10 o'clock, it had better be an emergency, and they probably need to call me twice because that's the signal for me that I need to really, really answer. But I'm very intentional about getting my rest. I work a lot of hours during the day, and so I go to bed. And then I get up pretty much at the same time each morning. And so without an alarm clock, I pretty much get up at 6 or 6:30 at the latest in the morning. So whatever works for you. Again, if you can work all night, fine. And then you want to sleep all day, fine. But whatever it is, I want to encourage you to be intentional about establishing a pattern. The other thing that I do to manage my time is that I work in blocks of time. And so literally I schedule what I'm going to do in 2-hour time blocks. And so, don't let me scare you. I don't want you to think, oh my gosh, she's so anal, she's type A. No, I do this because I have to have a plan. Because again, my ultimate strategy is that I am going to manage my time. And if you don't have a plan, then you're not going to be able to do what your strategy is, right? So I work in 2-hour time blocks, and I have 5. So that's 10 hours worth of time, because I allow myself 2 hours for lunch. Now, whether or not I leave my office and go somewhere, or if I just, eat here in my office, I give myself 2 hours. And in that 2 hours, I'll eat lunch. I will surf the web, I'll do online shopping. I'm a shopper. I also love to travel. And so I might go online and look and see what travel deals are out there. In fact, I'm working on a vacation as we speak. So y'all pray for me. I need some great packages, to come my way so that I can take a wonderful vacation. But anyway, so I work in blocks of 2 hours, and one set of the 2 hours may be to do email, another one might be to study, another one might be to answer and return, or excuse me, not answer, but return telephone calls. Let me talk a little bit about answering the phone since I said that. I speak into my life, into my space, that I have money cometh calls. So as you know, I'm an entrepreneur, and so every time the phone rings, it potentially is a money cometh call. So if that resonates with you, I want you to hit me in the box and let me know that you agree with money cometh calls. All right. So money cometh calls are people that will be hiring me for contracts, people that will be hiring me to consult, and people that will be calling me to speak at their church. That will be, booking me for a speaking engagement. So I do look at the phone every time it rings. Now, do I answer it every time I ring? Absolutely not. I decide if I need to take that call. And so, but if I take the call and it's not a money cometh call and it's not a part of what I'm focused on in that time block, I will take a message and then I will call them back when I am returning phone calls during my 2-hour time block of returning calls. All right. Because I have to manage my time. If you stop and focus on every single phone call, you will never get anything done. And you can't worry about that, oh my goodness, what are the people going to do if I don't answer? They're going to be fine. I promise you, life will go on. And sometimes we just need a telephone break. If that's you, I want you to give me some hearts. Let me know that you're in agreement. I'm telling you, this phone does not run my life. Amen. I run my life. I master my time, and mastering my phone is one of the things that I do. The other thing that I don't allow to master my time is email management. So let's just go ahead and talk about that. I ignore email. I have a set time that I look at email. But the way that I am able to do it, because this has taken me a long time to kind of get to this place, I don't look at email on my computer. I look at email on my iPad. So let me show you. Here in my office, I have the cutest little stand. You can see it there. This is, see there? See, it's my iPad. And so my emails, I look at my emails over there. So with my computer, I'm not distracted. I turn off all email alerts. So that way, when I'm on my computer working, emails don't pop up and I don't get a buzz or a sound alerting me that I've got new email. It took time, but I was able to get to the point where it's not a distraction. Because let me tell you this, I'm another one of those that I work in complete silence. I am so super productive when everything is quiet. When I moved into this office space and I was getting internet, I have Comcast, Xfinity, and they required as a part of the package that I get television. It's only 12 channels. Well, because I work in complete silence, I didn't need it. But of course, it wasn't an option. So maybe, goodness, I've been in my office now a little over, I did my office busing in June, but I really was in here, I think in April. I have probably had that television on 4 times. 4 times. And of those 4 times, they were, I watched the funeral of Pastor Pickney in Charleston, South Carolina. And that was on during the day, so I did turn it on to watch that. And then the other 3 times, I was watching something on television after hours, 5 or 6 o'clock once I was here for a full day, because television is a distraction for me. I love Steve Harvey, Ellen. I love all those shows. Again, I want my own television show, so I watch and support people that are already doing what I'm going to be doing, but I don't do it during the day. So I set my DVR so that I can watch that, at a later time at home. And so I don't listen to radio. I don't go on YouTube, none of that. It took discipline for me to get to that point. But I am so far beyond being even tempted now to listen to music or television. And in fact, if I do, I'm totally shut down. I just can't work because I'm so distracted by the TV. So thank you, co-pastor Janelle. She just asked me, how do I manage social media? Same thing. I have a 2-hour time block that I focus on social media. Now, I did a free teaching where I talked about how you could manage social media in 5-minute time bursts. I personally don't do that, but I know that some of you, you're not there yet where you're comfortable enough to step away from it. And so you kind of think, you got to peek at it all throughout the day, but I don't do that. I'm okay with not being the first to know what's going on social media. So typically, I do a 2-hour time block from 10 to 12, and I'll spend just a little bit, not the full 2 hours on social media, but I will do probably 30 minutes of the first 2 hours on social media, and then I'll do another 30 minutes in my 2 to 4 p.m. time block. And again, I'll spend another 30 minutes because I'm a social media queen. I love social media, and I make a lot of great connections on social media. I am intentional, though, about how much time I spend on it. I read a report that the average length of time a person spends on Facebook is 55 minutes. I don't have 55 minutes to spend on Facebook to see what's going on in my world. So with that said, I know my mind, I've already conditioned my mind that I'm going to learn what's going on in the world for 30 minutes at the 10 o'clock hour and 30 minutes at the 2 o'clock hour. And then I'll look at it for 30 minutes before I leave for the day. So if I'm leaving my office at 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock, that is when I will look at it. So that's how I manage social media. Now, let's say I'm in the middle of a program push or I'm selling a product, then obviously I'm on social media more than those time increments, because at that point, social media is a resource that I need to use to maximize what it is I'm doing. So just keep that in mind. So I'm flexible and I adjust well. But I have to make sure that it makes dollars and cents for me to adjust. All right. Did you catch that? Dollars and cents. Of course, SENSE is what I'm talking about. It's got to make sense in order for me to divert my attention. Why? And you may be saying, gosh, Robbie, that sounds so strong, but I'm an entrepreneur. And if I don't work, I don't eat. If I don't work, I can't buy clothes. I like to shop. I love to shop. Let me just be honest. But I'm disciplined about that. And so when I do shop, I want to be able to shop the way I want to shop. I like to say, my girlfriends, we all kind of laugh with each other, but I do big girl shopping when I shop. And so, sure, I get things at Target. I think I even bought this little cute top at Sam's. Sam sells clothes. I just, see a cute little throw on top. I'll buy it. It's $9, no big deal. But when I do big girl shopping and I go to Saks or Neiman Marcus, I want to be able to do that. And I want to be able to enjoy it and not wonder if my card is going to go through. So, anyway, so that's why I'm so disciplined and focused. So, give me some hearts if that resonates with you, but let's keep going. Let's see, number 4, I think I talked about answering calls, but I respond to those in my designated time block. Let me tell you this. Of course, I do now work from an external office, but I used to work from home for 13 years, excuse me. You have to limit your interruptions if you work from home. So my parents, I call them my adult children. I'm going to let you guys meet Mom and Dad Ware one day when I'm doing a scope, but they respected my time and my space when I worked from my home office for all those years, because they know that I'm at work. And that's what you have to do. Even if you work from an office and you're able to receive phone calls, you have to let people know that you're at work. And so nobody's paying you to take personal calls all day. And nobody's paying you to think that they have to babysit you all day to make sure that you're managing your time well. So establish boundaries right away for anybody that's in your house or that anyone's in your space. Even when, I have assistants that come and work with me, they know that the TV's not on and their radio is not on. Where can you go and work during the day and have the TV on other than like a doctor's office? So Just because I have it here in the office doesn't mean that that's an option. And so they respect the boundary. All right, let me see. The next thing I do often is I do a brain dump. And I'm going to show you. This is a piece of paper here. And I do a brain dump. I literally pull out a notepad and I just write down everything that I'm thinking about in my head. The reason why I do that, a couple of reasons. One, so that I can just clear my mind so I can think clearly. But the second reason, most important reason I do it, is because I don't want to forget things. And so as great and wonderful, as an administrator that I think I am, I'm human. And so it's important that I bet on myself, right? I bet on myself to win because I am a winner. But I want to make sure that I practice what makes sense. And practicing what makes sense for me is that I take what's in my mind, put it on a piece of paper, and then that way at the end of the day when I'm kind of going back through, I have a checklist, and then I have my brain dump. I can add those items from my brain dump to my checklist. And that way they get added on, I'm sorry, not checklist, they get added onto my to-do list as I deem, them necessary to be added. So you're not going to be able to remember everything. So just do a brain dump. Clear your mind. Alrighty? Hey, Monica, that's great. I love that she says she does them in her notebook and her phone so she doesn't forget. All right. But I teach that in the Success Suite, and Monica is one of my students in the Success Suite. And literally, when your creative juices get flowing, you just start thinking about everything and you don't want to miss anything. And so that's why it's hard to focus on one thing, because your mind has got all this stuff going in it. The wheels are turning and you're thinking, I don't want to forget this. And that's why you do a brain dump. All right. Let me see. This is my 8th tip. I'm really organized, you guys. So I've got a little cheat sheet here. You'll see my little 3x5 index card that I write notes down. If you ever come to any of my teachings, I always teach, or you hear me speaking at an event, that I'm very transparent. And so that's why I don't mind showing you all my, my little brain dump sheet and my 3x5 card here that I got my notes on. It just helps me. And so in all transparency, that is how I'm able to do a lot of what I do. So the next point is eliminate stuff from your workspace. It's hard to work and be effective if you have got stuff everywhere, right? And a nice workspace, it encourages productivity. And so I want to encourage you to do that. I'm going to show you even here, kind of my space. You see, I just got some nice frames and a plan and my printer. That's it. I do not have a lot of stuff, and I'm a girly girl, so I like all the pretty stuff. Even here on my actual desk, let me show you. I showed you my my iPad and my folders there. You see my laptop, and then there's the corner of my desk. I mean, it's really, really simple. Not a lot of stuff going on. I do have an inbox. Let me show you that. That I keep everything in. It just helps me stay focused, so I want to encourage you to do that. And then my last 2 points, and we'll end it, is kill perfectionism. It's difficult to, or really impossible to try to be perfect. People try it, but that's why you can never get anything done, because you're focused on perfectionism. I'm focused on excellence. I want what I do to be excellent. And so regardless of what level of ministry or in your business that you're operating in, I want to say to you that you should focus on operating in that level at the highest level of excellence. Don't worry about perfection. Focus on excellence. When I wrote my first book, I'm up to, goodness, 8 ministry resource books. 8. I have to share those with you. But I've written books to help armor bearers, assistants, administrators, volunteers, and then even how to host special guests. So I've got all these different resources that I put together. None of them have been published by a publishing house per se. I put them all together myself. I self-publish them. I get them printed. I use Instant Publisher if you guys are looking for a publisher. But before I even use Instant Publisher, I use Kinko's. And so when I began to sell them, though, Kinko's to print the books would be like $12 or $15, some crazy price. Instant Publisher, I can get 100 books at like $2 or $3 each, and so it makes more sense, financially. So anyway, but I shared that to say when I first started doing those books, I used Kinko's because that was the level of excellence that I was at. That's what I could afford. I needed books printed on demand. If I, was invited to speak at a church and to do a workshop, I'd probably sell about 10 books. So I didn't need 100, and I didn't have the budget to order 100 books. So I went and I would go to Kinko's and I would get, 10 books printed. Cost me, $150 if they were $15 each. But then I would turn around and sell them, for 20. So I'd make $5 off of them. But because my intention was to be a blessing and I wanted to have the materials out there, I just made that investment. Well, again, now that I'm at another level, I'm able to afford to order 100 books, and they cost me, I think I said $2, but they're more like $4. So I can spend $400, get 100 books, sell them for $20, and I've made $16 per book. And again, my resource is Instant Publisher. So I want to encourage you to check them out if you want to print your own books. But I initially didn't want to do the books or do the first book because I wanted it to be published by a publishing house, and I thought people were going to make fun of me, all that kind of stuff. That's before I got delivered from people. Amen. Now I'm free. I'm Robin, and I do me, and I do me well. But I was at a conference and I heard Pastor Bridget Hilliard preach. And she said that there are those of you that have books in you, but you won't release them because you're not comfortable with the resources you have available. And I came home from that conference and I said, okay, I had taken all these notes in my phone. At the time it was a BlackBerry. I forwarded all those notes to my email, opened them up, copied and pasted them into Word, laid them out. I found a book layout online, followed that template, and I emailed it to Kinko's, and that's how I printed my first book. And I want you to know, every time I sold that book, no one said to me or asked me, where did you print it? Why does it look like this? I mean, they were in love with the content, with the materials, because the materials was a blessing. The content was a blessing. And so because I printed it at the highest level of excellence for where I was, people respected that. And so it's the same thing now. People appreciate that the books that I give, they're excellent. The content, they trust me. I've never had anybody ask me, are you printing it spiral bound or, any of that. They don't. They just trust me for the materials. I'm even doing ebooks now. I've had a pastor that reached out to me and he ordered 25 copies. I was so shocked, but he ordered 25 copies of one of my books and asked me, could he have them the next day? I said, absolutely. And he was here in Atlanta, so I drove them out to the ministry and he asked me what they cost. I told him and put a rush fee in there, and I had a check waiting for me when I dropped the books off. So you never know, your blessing is there. Are you being obedient though to the assignment? You can't decide, right, how the assignment should be played out. You have to allow the Holy Spirit to speak to you in that. And the Holy Spirit spoke to me, told me to do that. I heard the word from the woman of God. Holy Spirit told me what to do next. Went to Kinko's, did all of that, and boom. That's what really put my ministry on the map. I am a marketplace minister, but I am a licensed minister of the gospel. And I love it, Lady Crystal Clay. I'm glad that I'm preaching to you. I'm being transparent. Again, this is what you get when you come to my sessions. I had no desire to go around and be a speaker and teach and do workshops. But from that very first book, and I wasn't even going to sell it. I put it together. I was going to share it with some other church administrators. And it got in the hands of a pastor. And he asked me to come and teach from it. Well, my mother didn't raise no fool. So even though I really wasn't in the mindset of I'm going to go out and teach, I knew it was something I could do. And so I told him, sure. And so he asked me what it was I would charge. And I said, well, I don't really, have a fee. I was being transparent. And so, I didn't tell him that I didn't really have a fee. I told him, I did. I told him that I didn't have a fee. But I didn't say don't pay me. And that's where we as entrepreneurs kind of go wrong. We're like, oh, we'll do it. Want to be blessed and all that good stuff. And I do want to be blessed, but we have to eat. So that's a whole nother conversation. The reason why some of us don't get paid, or some of you all, hallelujah, don't get paid what you're worth is because you don't ask for it. Another conversation. That's another scope. But I was honest. Again, this has been about 13 years ago. And it was right at the beginning of me becoming an entrepreneur. And I told him that I would gladly come and do the workshop. And so since I didn't have an agreed upon amount, he said, well, I'll take care of your gas, because he was about an hour and a half away. So I got a couple girlfriends with me, and the three of us drove, and we went to the location and did the workshop. It was a great workshop. The pastor came in, gave me an envelope. I thanked him. I figured it was the gas money, as he had stated. When I got home that night, just did some, stuff and got myself situated. And it was about 10 o'clock. I was getting ready to go to bed. And the Holy Spirit reminded me to open the envelope. I hadn't opened it. And I opened it. And what I thought was probably going to be about, $60 to reimburse me for gas. You guys, I opened it and it was a check for $700. I took a photocopy of that check and I have it hanging in my home office. I'll have to show it to you guys. But literally, I said, oh, Lord, I can do this. And that is how I began to teach. And the floodgates just kind of opened for me, and people began to invite me in to come in and do leadership workshops. And God has been faithful. And so now that one book, it was on church administration. I was teaching administrators how to take care of their pastors, how to do their travel, how to manage their calendar, how to set up meetings, how to take meeting minutes. We didn't have all this technology 13 years ago that we have now. But I put together based on what I was using to take care of my pastor at the time. So with that said, I am going to wrap this up. Just reminding you that last point was to do what you do in excellence and automate. Automate. That was a great lead in, was it not? Now there's all this technology. You can automate what you do. On my website, thewearagency.com, I would encourage you to go there. In fact, I got a free giveaway, 10 strategies to grow your church. Though I am a success coach and I work with entrepreneurs, my heart is always ministry. And so I'm always thinking about teachings and trainings for the church. So I got a great freebie there for you if you go and get it. You will join my email list as a result, but you'll learn about some great things that I've got going on as a part of my email list. But even in that, it's an automated process. You join my email list, you follow the steps, the prompts, and you're going to get my PDF for free, my teaching for free. It's like, 20 some pages. It's a really great teaching. Because I always want to give beyond your expectations. So, but that's automated. Even in my coaching sessions, you can go to my website and you can request a coaching session with me, 15-minute free session, or you can pay for a full hour. But all of that is automated. You don't have to call me, my assistant, or my office. You can do it all through my website. So I want to encourage you to automate. That's how you master your time. That's how you manage your time. If I had to respond to emails, so some of you, let me just bring that point up. That's why I don't worry about, oh my goodness, am I missing an email that somebody may be trying to book me to do a consultation? No, it's available on my website. And most people will check you out on your website. So it's there. But automation is key. And this may be hard, but this is my absolute last point, is I am able to say the magic word no. N-O. I do not take on every request. I don't take every single speaking engagement. I base my engagements on my priorities. And my priorities are my church. I'm a minister. I'm submitted to my house, my pastor, Bishop Paul Morton, and Pastor Deborah Morton. In fact, there are two great recordings going on here tonight in Atlanta, and I'm so excited. Shout out to Darlene McCoy, a great friend. I've known her for years. And Miranda Willis and Darius Polk, they're doing a recording. I'm excited for all of them. But my co-pastor, Pastor D, she's preaching here in Atlanta, and I'm going to go support her. I don't have to, but I am poured in and poured in by her. She's somebody that I can call that will pray with me if I'm going through things. She talks me through things. And so as being one of my spiritual leaders, I want to show my submission. And so I'm sowing my time into her tonight. Both of those recordings sent me VIP invitations. They're charging for their recordings, and they sent me free passes. But, I had to respectfully decline because I am going to sow my time into my woman of God. As she preaches here in Atlanta tonight. She's based out of New Orleans, so we don't get to hear her. We hear her once a month here at our church, but to hear her, outside of that church environment, we don't get that often. So I'm taking advantage of that. So I'm able to say no, and I encourage you to do that. So these are my tips of how you can manage time. If these tips blessed you, I want you to hit my screen, give me some hearts, or just give me comments. I thank you guys so much for being with me on this scope. Today is Friday. I'm excited. It's July 31st. Listen, the first 7 months of the year are over. Wow. We're about to start month 8. So new beginnings, right? I am excited. What will you start new? What's August going to bring new for you? Maybe it's for you to do a scope. If you let me know you're doing one, I'll jump on. I promise you. Thank you guys so much, though, for your time. This has been your lunch break manna. But I got to get on it. I got a lunch appointment, and then I will be back in my office working this afternoon until I get ready to go see and hear my pastor. Oh, thank you, Co-Pastor Janelle. Some of you are asking about my books. They're available on my website. Again, you can get digital copies or you can get the actual printed copies. If you go to thewearagency.com/books. All right. If you have any trouble, though, send me an email, info@thewearagency.com, info@thewearagency.com. Thank you guys for spending your lunchtime with me. I think I'll get Pastor D to do a scope with me tonight. I don't think she's done one yet. So maybe after she preaches tonight, I'll do a live scope with her. So you all stay tuned and look out for that. Alrighty. Thank you guys so much for the scope. Even if you're watching this on replay, you can give me some hearts, right? Did you know that? That it works even after the live broadcast. So you guys be blessed. I thank you so much. Take care.